Hi everyone, so here's week 3 for your lessons. So all this week we're going to be focusing on solving equations. And this is going to be a brand new concept for you guys that you've not done before, okay? So I'll briefly go over what an equation is. Okay, so don't copy this part into your notes jotter. If I write in x plus 1 equals 10, okay? This is an equation, okay? Whereas what we were doing last week, if I had like 2x plus 2y plus 3x, something like this is not an equation, because the difference between the left hand side and right hand side is that there's no equals sign. Okay, so on the left hand side, x plus 1 equals 10. So that equal sign makes this into an equation. This bit here is something that we call an expression, because I can just add the x's together and leave the y by itself. Okay, so we're going to be focusing this week on equations. So it's when we've got an equals sign in this. Okay, so I'm just going to rub all this out and then we'll get started. So in your jotters, can you please take the heading Lesson 1, Solving Equations. And I will go through 4 questions with you and then you can practice some by yourself. So take a note of this. So 1a, x plus 1 equals 12. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to write the question in blue and then I'm going to write my answer in red, just so you can see the difference. And you do need to show all working to make sure you get the marks here. So we've got this equal sign here. So that basically means that whatever's on your left hand side, so x plus 1, is the exact same as this right hand side. So they're equal to each other. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to think, right, what must x stand for? So x stands for a number here. So if you think of it, right, something add 1 must give you 12. Okay, you probably worked that out in your head. So something add 1 must give you 12. You probably know the answer is 11. So 11 add 1 gives you 12. Okay, but I don't want you just to write down 11. Okay, because then I'm going to mark it wrong and you will not get the mark. Okay, so these ones are quite basic. So this is how I want you to show working for every question, because it will get more difficult. Right, so I'm going to start by drawing a line just at the right hand side. Okay, it doesn't need to be a long line, just a straight one. And that's something that in high school we call a method line. And you'll be using a method line for every single equation that you do, all the way through high school. First year, second year, third year, fourth year, etc. Okay, so when you've got your method line, we're trying to get that letter x by itself right now. Okay, so I want to essentially undo what's being done to it. So I want to undo this plus 1. So what we're going to do is do the opposite. Okay, it's always opposite. So the opposite of plus 1 is take away 1. Alright, so I'm going to write that down next to my method line. Can you copy me, please? So if we take away 1 from both sides of this equation, so if I take away 1 from this side, that makes our plus 1 disappear and leaves me with x. Okay, and then I'm going to take away 1 from this side as well. So 12 take away 1 just gives you 11. And that's the way I want you to lay out this. So x equals 11, and that's your answer. Okay, now I know this seems like a lot of work, but trust me, you need to show working like this, because later on in the week we're going to be doing more difficult questions where you will need a method line to help you. Alright, so part B, if you copy this down, we've now got the letter A instead of x. So it's A take away 5 equals 10. Okay, so that's your question. Now again, I've got an equation because I've got an equal sign in here. So whenever I've got an equation, the first thing I do is I draw my method line. Okay, so the whole point of this is to get the letter by itself. So you need to think, right, something take away 5 must give you 10. Right, you can probably think of the answer in your head right now, right? But we're going to use the method line and show working. So I want to get letter A by itself. So I'm going to do the opposite of this minus 5 to get rid of it. So the opposite of minus 5, or take away 5, is add 5. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do to both sides. So that's going to give me A by itself, which is here. And what you do to one side, you need to do to the other. So I'm going to add 5 onto this. So 10 add 5 is just 15. And does that make sense? So if you changed A for 15, 15 take away 5, it does give you 10. So you know that both sides of this equation balances up. Right, 2 more questions and then you're on your own. So part C is p plus 6 equals 9. So that's your question. Again, we've got an equation. First thing I do is a method line. Probably getting the hang of this by now, hopefully. So you need to get this letter p by itself. So I'm going to do the opposite of plus 6, which is take away 6. That makes that part disappear. So it just leaves you with p equals, and then 9 take away 6 is just 3. And that's you. And if you changed p for 3, would that make sense? So 3 add 6 does give you 9, so then that's it. And last one, so it's going to be w take away 9 equals 16. Again, first thing you do is you do a method line. Then you're looking to get that letter by itself. So remember, we always do the opposite. So the opposite of take away 9 is going to be plus 9. So that gets rid of that part. So it leaves you w by itself. And if you add 9 to this, so 16 add 9. So what I would do is I would probably add 10, gives you 26, and then take away 1. So it gives me 25. And that's your answer. Okay, so feel free to pause the video at this point and look back at what we've just done there. Okay, in a few seconds I'm going to show you the questions I would like you to complete today, which are here. Okay, so pause the video at this point, take a screenshot, complete these questions. There's 10 of them in total. Remember, for each of them I want you to write the question, then draw your method line like this, and then write your answer underneath. Okay, so that's what I want for every single question. So pause the video, complete the work, and then I'll put the answers up in a few wee seconds. So here are your final answers. So correct what you've done and upload a photo of your work to Google Classrooms. Remember, if you just write your final answer down, you're going to get 0. Okay, you need to show your method line and you need to show you're working for this.